Hi, Chris Dan here at Market Your Clinic Online. In this video, we're going to look at how to control the way your website looks when it's shared on social media. Now, if you've got a website, sooner or later, you or someone else is going to share it on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever else. And when they do, you want to make sure that it looks the way that you expect it to look and the way you want it to look. So here's an example for my own website. Here's my coaching page. And if I copy that, I'm going to just put that link into Facebook. Let's just quickly reload the page here. I put this link into my Facebook, so I'm going to share it with the world. And what comes up is a preview image, a title, and a short description of the website, or of the web page rather. Now, what I want to make sure is that when I or someone else share this page on social media, this image, this description, and this title are ones that I've chosen for that page, not something picked randomly by Facebook, but we want to specify exactly what those are going to be. So let's have a look at how that works. First of all, if we go back over to the coaching page, what we're going to do is just click anywhere, right click anywhere on this page. You can do this with any web page at all. Scroll down to the bottom of the menu that appears, and here in Chrome we've got View Page Source. Now that might be different in different browsers. It might say View Source, anything source basically. If we click on that, that will open the source code to the page that we're looking at. Now you can see over here on the left-hand side, we've got a series of what's called meta tags that say meta property and then OG colon something. So we've got OG title, OG description, OG image here. Now these are what's called open graph tags, and it's the open graph protocol, which is what these tags specify, that's going to tell Facebook and other platforms how to make our website look when it's shared on that platform. So when you share this page on Facebook, Facebook goes into the code here and has a look at this OG title and says, right, that's the title that I'm going to display. OG description, open graph description, this is the description that I'm going to display. And this is the address of the image that I'm going to use as a share image. So in order to change the way our website looks when it's shared, we need to change those open graph tags in the source code to our web page. Now, we're not going to edit this code directly, but what's important is that we know how to get into the source code here and edit it, because there's going to be different ways of editing this code depending on your platform. There's one way of doing it in Squarespace, another way in Wix, a million different ways in WordPress, depending on what SEO plugins you're using. So however you edit it in your platform, you need to be able to come into the code and verify that the changes you've made have actually changed the open graph tags and haven't changed something else and left the open graph tags alone. So let's have a look at changing some of these then. If I go into my coaching page on my WordPress site here, I'm using Yoast. So down here we've got what's called the SEO title, which is where the open graph title tag comes from, and the meta description, which is where the open graph description comes from. You see, these aren't called OG title, OG description. This is why it's so important to be able to verify the tags in the source code of the website once you've actually changed them. So I'm just going to make a couple of little changes here. Let's change this to web coaching services, and let's change SEO and website to website and SEO coaching. Just little changes just so we can test that what we're changing is actually making a difference. And I'll change this image of this lady to this image of this guy sitting at a desk here. So there we go. So now this says web coaching and website and SEO, and it's a picture of this guy in the white t-shirt. Now we'll update that. And then if we have a look at the open graph tags in the website, they should now update. When I refresh the page, this should now say web coaching services, website and SEO, and the address of this image, which ends in 657, should also change. And there we go. So now we've got web coaching services, website and SEO coaching, and here this address has changed to the new image, which is the guy sitting at the desk. So far so good. So now we know that we've correctly updated the open graph tags in the web code. Now when we share the page on Facebook, it should look differently and use our new previews. So let's have a look. First of all, we'll refresh the page to get rid of the one that I just shared already. And then let's see what happens if we share that. Now, We've got the same preview as before, so it hasn't actually updated in Facebook. Now that's weird, isn't it? Because we know that we've correctly changed the open graph tags in the source code of our page because we've just checked that and we've seen that they've updated. But then when we try and look at it in Facebook, it's the old preview and Facebook hasn't updated it. The reason for that is that Facebook caches all of these open graph tags. So if a million people share your website, it doesn't have to check them a million times. It gets them once and stores them. So then when we make a change, Facebook doesn't know that we've made a change to the open graph tags because it's not going back there and checking it. So what we have to do is we have to tell Facebook that we've made a change to our open graph tags and say, hey, Facebook, can you please go back and have another look at our open graph tags because we've made a change to this post now. We've made a change to this preview. And the way that we do that is using the Facebook sharing debugger. I'll pop a link in the description, but you can just Google Facebook sharing debugger and it will bring up this page. And what we do with this is we use this to tell Facebook that we've changed the open graph tags. We can also use it to verify that the open graph tags say what we think they do and that Facebook can read them all correctly. But we use it typically to tell Facebook that we've made changes. So let's pop in the URL to that coaching page in the sharing debugger. And we can see there it's still got the old preview and the old text here because it scraped it. It says here 15 minutes ago. And we're going to click now scrape again to say, Facebook, can you please go and have another look at this page and look for the new information? And there we go. We've now got the updated title, we've got the updated description, and we've got the updated image with the guy in the white t-shirt looking at the laptop there. So now Facebook has the correct open graph information. It has the updated open graph information. And now when we share that page again, we should get the updated version. Let's have a look. And there we go. We've got the new title, Web Coaching Services, the new description, Website and SEO Coaching, and we've got the new image here because we've told Facebook, hey, Facebook, we've changed our open graph tags. Please go and update all these things. Now, this is why it's really important to be able to have a look at the open graph tags in your web code because then you make sure, let's say you get the wrong preview here. You first of all need to know, well, have I changed the open graph tags correctly or is it a problem with Facebook? And then once we've verified our code and we know that we've changed the OG tags, then we can say, okay, the problem's with Facebook, and then we can go into the sharing debugger and we can say, well, does Facebook have the right information about my page? That's the next step in troubleshooting the problem. Then if we know Facebook does have the right information about the page, it should update it and should display the correct information. Now I say should because then sometimes it still won't work. And then what you have to do is a third step. Sometimes you might share a link and nothing will come up at all. That's when Facebook, for some reason, doesn't seem to recognize that you've shared a link here and it just publishes it as plain text, which is no use to you. What you need to do then is here's a post that I did yesterday for Market Your Clinic Online. And if we go into publishing tools, what we have to do is explicitly tell Facebook, hey, there's a link here. Can you please make sure that you go and have a look and get the previews for this link? And the way that you do that is by clicking on the post that you want to make sure you've got the right link for, clicking on the little menu here and going to edit post. And then you'll see that there's a little option comes up here, link preview on the left hand side. And then what you do is just put in the address to your post in there. And then, assuming that your open graph tags are correct and you've checked it in the sharing debugger, put the link preview in there and explicitly tell Facebook that you want a preview of that particular link, and then it should all work correctly. I hope that this video has been useful. If you have any questions at all about Open Graph or sharing your website on social media, don't hesitate to drop me a line. And if you found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe.